right, folks, let's get started. Welcome to the SEO Science Show. I'm Josh Paczynski, and we have terrible things going on in the SEO industry that I wanted to let everyone know about. You should be able to see me now. I think I'm streaming the Zoom. You could join the Zoom if you want to have a conversation with moi about it. Welcome to the SEO Science Show. So it's, what's the date today? October the 14th, 2020, and the year 2020 keeps getting better. And how has it gotten better right now for SEO? Well, this is how it's gotten better. Google has stopped letting you fetch pages. They've more or less stopped indexing pages from even remotely reputable websites. You could join the Zoom and talk with me about this if you want. I'd love to hear from anyone who's having trouble getting their pages indexed. Check the chat. I put the Zoom link in there. If you, I will go and check the chat in a couple minutes. I'll have to toggle the screens and answer any questions you might have, SEO questions you have. I want to talk about the no indexation apocalypse that's been going on for weeks that Google's lying about to you. I want to talk about Google's lies. I want to talk about, I want to talk to people who've been hurt by this indexation problem and can't get their pages indexed, even on reputable websites. I mean, there's some spammy sites that I know that can't get their pages indexed. And I'm like, well, you know, don't have a spammy site. But I know perfectly reputable pages that can't get indexed and perfectly reputable websites that can't get their pages indexed. And this is a huge problem. It's been going on for weeks, and Google just took away the request indexing button. They just took away the fetch button. And now their censorship engine really is a complete censorship engine. You have no control of what pages they index at all. And this could last forever. They say it'll be fixed in a few weeks. Yeah, they say a lot of things. I don't believe a fucking word they say. They're all a bunch of lying capitalists. And so, quite frankly, it's the old rich white boys club of money begets money. And if they don't want to allow us to index any more pages, they might do that. So, you know, that's my personal opinion on the political side. So ignoring all that, but still, it's a huge problem. They're not letting people index any pages. This could go on for weeks if we take them at their word. It could go on for much longer. So how's things going, guys? Can you hear me okay? If you guys can hear me in the chat, let me know. I just want to make sure you guys can hear me, that that's working and it's getting through. And if anybody wants to join the Zoom, let me know. And I want to talk especially to people who I want to talk to people especially who've been hurt by this, who can't get pages indexed. I want to look at your site. I want to do some site audits. I want to help you with some SEO information. There's new crazy things going on in SEO that have never been going on before outside the indexation. I think they're trying to cloak some stuff. Dejan asks, do you think it's about elections? Yeah, I do. I do think it's partly about elections. Thank you, Ryan, for letting me know you can hear me. I think it's partly about elections, but I also think the Russians are hammering them with fake news pages. I think the Republican side is getting desperate because the polls don't look good for them. But I think it's more than that. Google is way smarter than that. And I think that they always kill as many birds with one stone as possible. So I think they're trying to hit the SEOs. They've made some huge changes to SEO that are anti-SEO changes for sure. Just for us SEOs, for sure. And in that, they also have no indexation. In that, they're changing their AIs. Google has made the largest change they've ever made, the largest algorithm change they've ever made since the beginning, since the late 90s. The exact match query is dead. EMQ is dead. It's not a thing anymore. Specificity is not how their algorithm works anymore. PMQ is dead. In some cases, you'll do better with no match, if you'll believe that. In some cases, some people would do better with no match. You've got to learn the secrets. You've got to learn the tricks of how they take a page and totally reprocess it. They reprocess it, they refilter it, they change your page into XML, and then they reprocess the entire thing, and then they start looking for stuff and rearranging stuff and doing drastic things to your page. There are certain magical SEO tags that do work. There's certain magical SEO tags that will kill your site and kill your rankings. You've got to know which ones are which. You've got to know where to put keywords and what kind of keywords to put there, or you will get nailed by Google. And there's other algorithms that you need to know about to manipulate if you want to survive in Google. That's if you can get a page index to begin with. So I put the Zoom link in the chat here. I'm going to put it in here again for anybody who wants to join and have a conversation. I'd love to talk with people who have been hurt by Google. I'd love to talk to people who are having trouble ranking. I'd love to talk to people who can't get any pages indexed. Feel free to join here on the Zoom. I'm going to share this out again on Facebook here. I'm going to share this out to this page here. Join if you are hurt by Google. And I'm going to put this out here to SEO search. Using tags here are a good thing. Search and Google. Join to discuss Google's recent emergency moves. So definitely, I want you guys to join here if you can, if you have something to talk about, or if you have questions you want to ask in the chat, go ahead, ask the questions in the chat. I will toggle back to it in a second. Ask any SEO questions you want in the chat. So let's talk about the no indexation first. So for weeks now, if you've been reading the SEO news, Google has been limiting the amount of pages they will index, and they've just been blocking the indexation. So indexation happens in a number of steps. I don't know all of them. Of course, no one outside of Google does. But there's a processing process, and then there's the actual putting you into. There's several indices. There's several corpora, as far as I understand it, and then they have to put you into the ranking portion of that index, right? And so just because you're not showing up in the rankings doesn't mean they don't know about your page, right? So there's two ways you need to search to find out if a page is in the index. First, search a sentence like this in quotations. Do you guys see this up here? Search a sentence like this. That's the best way to look for it. And then see if your page comes up. And there's apparently two records in their index that are rankable, that are approved for ranking, that have made it through discovery, crawling, processing, indexation. That have that. That's one way to do it. The other way is you can just put the URL http whatever this is. And you'll see if it might show you the URL, but it might not. You can also do the site : command, but again, that is not necessarily something that will work. As you can see here, it will let me do the site : for Adobe, but it might not let you do site : for your particular site that you're looking at here. So that is, not the best way. I prefer this way here, searching a sentence with quotations. If that doesn't work, you can go to verbatim results, and that might give you slightly better results. If the site is a high quality enough, here's the key. All of their algorithms talk to each other in a certain way. So if you have not been seeing indexation from Google recently, one of the reasons is because you might have a speed problem, you might have a linking problem, an authority problem, but you also could have a quality problem. You'll probably have a quality problem. Now, quality, they've been talking about forever. For my secret science group, it means something very specific. Quality is a euphemism. The word quality or relevance is a euphemism that Google uses interchangeably. That means a very specific signal. Now, if you don't have that very specific signal, you're not going to rank. You will not rank. And not only that, they will not index you either. And so that's a big problem with this indexation. It's like I go on Barry's site here. I check Barry's site about indexation. And you see Google, Barry's even noticed here that there's some more stuff going on. That's today. He's noticed there's some instability or bugs he's been noticing the last few days. But if we go over this Google indexation, I believe it was on this page I noticed, if you look into the comments on this usually are very acerbic and not worth reading, but sometimes it is. For example, I noticed here, someone says they haven't had pages indexed for 3 months. And I can't find it now, but they were here before, but you know, these things shuffle all over the place. Somebody said that they couldn't get pages indexed for 3 months. The indexation bug hasn't been going on that long. It's only been going on for a couple of weeks. And it's not a bug, in my opinion. In my opinion, it's... hi, Thane, I see you join there. If you have any questions in the chat, go ahead and chat it out, but people will see it. So the chat's not private, so don't put anything private in the chat. Oops. Let's go full view, speaker view? No. Gallery view? No. Show non-video participants? No. Okay. That's about as good as that's going to get. So, yeah, so the indexation bug hasn't been going on that long. So if you've been having trouble ranking, that's one thing, but it's connected to indexing as well. They will check to see how high quality your site is and what other tech problems it might have and whether you're worth indexing in the first place. And their artificial intelligences are getting very, very smart as to determining if you are the kind of site that they probably want to have in their index in the first place and whether they'll bother wasting the money of even processing your page further. There's like process a bit, render into XML, then look at it. Is it worth indexing? Look at some other stuff. Is it worth indexing? Look at some other stuff. Is it worth indexing? They can bail at any one of those points, right? And then you finally go through all the hoops. It's like applying to a school. You know, you have to pass this test and pass this test and pass this test. And finally you go through all the hoops and they're like, okay, well, you look good enough to index, so we will put you in the indexation. And it doesn't matter what Search Console says. Search Console can give you a bit of information there, but it's mostly just lies and smoke screens from Google as per usual. What's going on there, the only way to know for sure that you are rankable and the only way to know for sure that you're going to be able to rank is you got to check, like I said here, you got to search a sentence like this and see if you come up. Search something that's only on your page and see if you come up. You might also come up in the omitted searches, which is not good. That means you're duplicated in some way, but not so duplicated or so spammy that you did not surpass the filters to begin with. So, so that's one thing to keep in mind. So this indexing bug has not been going on for that long. So if you've been having it for 3 months, that's a huge problem. That's a whole ranking problem. There's things you need to do there. You need to join my SEO science group. You need to find out what the actual deal is. And for quality, it's a very specific signal that you need to have. And if you don't have it, you can think you're high quality all you like. And your mom can go to your website and think it's high quality all she likes. And you can show it to John Mueller. And John Mueller or Gary Ilyish or Martin, what's his face, or anybody else there can look at your page and go, looks high quality to me, I guess. That wouldn't even matter. It's a very specific signal that you have to have. And if you do not have this specific signal, not only will you not rank, they will not even start indexing other pages on your site or those pages, and your indexation rate will go down. And not only the height in which you rank will go down, the amount you show up on the SERP will disappear. You'll be ranking spot number 4 Tuesday. Wednesday, you're off the SERP entirely. Thursday, you're back. You ever seen that before? I bet you a lot of you have. You're on the SERP, position 4 or 5, whatever it is, and you're like, yeah, I got to 4 or 5, but you're there Tuesday, you're not there Wednesday, you're back Thursday, you're not there Friday, you're back Saturday. You see these big sharp spikes in Search Console like this. Or you see actual dots and dashed lines in Search Console. That's even worse. That's a good sign of low quality. when you see the dots and dashes, and then it's still pretty bad quality when you see the giant spikes, but then they're putting you back. Those are all huge canary in the coal mine. Those are all huge warning signs that you need to improve your quality. You need a specific signal. You have to join my group to find out what that is. You have to join a science group that can prove what that is, and we have. No other group has done it to my knowledge. So that's part of the indexation problem, and it's but at least before we had the request indexing button. Now you might be like, well, what exactly is gone, Josh? Well, I'll show you. So here's what's gone. If I go to Search Console, and I go to my site here, themoralconcept.net, and I go, hey, let's index this page here. Google goes, okay, and I can, and there's a request indexing button. If I request indexing on this button is what's supposed to be gone or being taken away right away. And you're going to have problems with it. You're going to have problems with this button, and you can't actually fetch a page because of this. So that's the kind of thing that's happening there, that's going on. And they're going to take away for weeks. So now you have to rely on a sitemap. An XML sitemap works better. I'll let you know that free information. An XML sitemap works better. You would, I'll go back to Search Console here. You would upload the XML sitemap here under sitemaps. You'd put it here. You can also include an HTML sitemap in the XML sitemap, and then that might get you kind of double action a little bit. Some people say that is the case. That's a rumor, that there's no scientific proof for that. It's just my supposition. But it probably wouldn't hurt to try it. So that's something you could try. Other than that, you're screwed. You cannot do index inject. You can't make you can't do like RSS feed links. You can't do links in other places. If they know about your page, they already have a crawl schedule for your page. You cannot adjust Google's crawl schedule by making more links to the page. You can adjust Google's crawl schedule by being higher quality on the page and on the site in general, which is a very specific signal. Again, a set of signals actually. Your on-page semantics has to be good enough that you look like you're a good answer. You have to have the right keywords in the right spots, and you have to not have the wrong keywords in the wrong spots, because they now have demoting spots. They have SEO demoting spots, anti-SEO, excuse me, algorithm demoting spots that are so bad and terrible. Just draconian, evil dick jerk moves from Google. I'm sorry, Google, but these are evil dick jerk asshole moves of what you've done. And I've found what you've done. I've proven beyond a shadow of doubt what you've done in my group of what positions, what you're doing with keywords and what you're doing with keyword positions. And, there's so many mom and pops out there who will be innocently hurt by your choices. There's so many things out there that there's so many websites out there. There's so many mom and pops out there. There's so many people out there who are going to be legitimately hurt by the what you think are innocent choices you've made. You're not just going to hit a bunch of SEOs. You're going to decimate. They've already decimated the SEO community. SEO has been decimated like October of last year when a very important algorithm came out called BERT, which I'll talk about in a second. And then November again of last year, and then early spring of this year, March, April this year, it was SEO apocalypse. And never mind the SEO apocalypse of the previous years before, Florida update, Medic update, things like that. So the SEO industry has been decimated. Anyone who's still doing it is either lucky and hasn't died yet, or isn't a very good science group. Those are the only people, or just stuck in it long enough that everyone else gave up, and then they're just ranking because of accidents, like Brian Dean. Brian Dean, I don't think has any idea what he's talking about. I've listened to his courses. I've listened to the stuff he talks about. He's a pig with an acorn, and he sniffs around and he finds it enough, but then half of his advice is going to get you demoted. So the only reason why he's there is, again, because of the trust and quality signal that he's been able to accrue for such a long time. It has nothing to do with his name. It has nothing to do with, it doesn't really work like that. People have long suspected there's a brand entity and there's an author entity. And there are, in the natural language processing of BERT, of what Google does, which I can't remember what BERT stands for, bidirectional encoded something transformer. It's like the GPT-3 algorithm, for those of you who have been looking at that, made by a rival computer science company called OpenAI, made GPT-3, which is an omnidirectional transformer, if I recall it correctly. But BERT is a bidirectional transformer algorithm. If you don't understand what I'm talking about here, do research. You need to look up GPT-3. You need to look up BERT, because I'm about to talk about all this. This is how it works now. Vector is dead. LSI is long dead, and I realized that they're using vectorization. And now vectorization is dead. I can tell you they were using vectorization. Our group was killing it with vectorization. We were using WordSketch, this tool called WordSketch, an academic tool, to find the collocated words, and we were killing it with that. But the reason why I'm giving this out for free is because it no longer works. It's not the algorithm they're using anymore. You can go try it if you want. It's not expensive, but it's not going to give you the collocated it gives you and the longest commonest matches it gives you are no longer going to give you any benefit or bonus whatsoever to use. They're using a different artificial intelligence now, similar to Vector, but bidirectional. In their particular case, not omnidirectional or unidirectional. Maybe GPT is unidirectional. I can't remember, but it's these big transformers. You know those things. It's not that. It's these big algorithms that will transform queries. For example, the GPT-3 algorithm is smart enough that if you gave it the words knock knock, it would respond with not pages that say knock knock in them. It will respond with who's there. That's how GPT-3 works. That's how a transformer algorithm works. So this is how BERT works. Similar, but a little different than GPT-3 because GPT-3 was trained on open languages and things like that. BERT has been trained on web pages. Web pages have a structure. Web pages have metadata. And web pages and the search engine has a purpose to give you the best answer to the question, not to play a little conversational game with you. So, but it's similar to if you said knock knock into Google, the pages that are going to rank best are the ones that, to continue the metaphor, are the ones that say who's there and not the ones that say knock knock anymore. And that's anyone's guess. It's a huge guess as to what the knock knock, what the true answer, what joke are you playing? Like, why the chicken crossed the road? You don't know what the answer is. It could be any answer. You know there's a prefab answer that the AI is expecting, but you're never going to know the answer unless you know how to scientifically research and check and test to find out what the proper answer is going to be. And that is another way that they've just completely decimated the SEO industry. And another reason why you need to join a science group. Chase, you can join. The Zoom link is up above here. I'll paste it in here again. Anybody who wants to discuss can join. I'd like to talk about to people, preferably who have been hit by this indexation problem. Let me see if there's any questions here I can answer. Sarah says it's been a nightmare for her. That's I'm very sorry to hear that, Sarah. Yeah, there's a lot of moves that Google is making right now that are going to be hurting a fair amount of people. So let me close that. There we go. So yeah, I'm very sorry to hear that. Ask any SEO questions here you want. I will try to answer. Ryan says they took it away. Jesus, wild times. Yeah, it is pretty nuts. I don't know if that was Chase trying to join. Anyone can join. Let me know if you're having trouble getting in here. It should work. It's just a normal Zoom. Sarah asks, what do you think is going on with the indexation bug over the last few weeks and when that big issue happened, when the search results were all different and they had to change it back? Yeah, so that's a great question, Sarah. So I've been trying to answer that, kind of answering that, but also, Google, like I said, Google is really smart and they try to kill as many birds with one stone as possible. So they're going to do indexation changes, but they're also going to do a core update at the same time. And they're gonna do a number of experiments at the same time. They always sneak in changes under the radar. They always sneak in changes under the radar. So that's another thing that you need to you need to keep in mind is that they try to make it as confusing for us to decipher what's going on as possible. So you need to have a good science group that already knows what's going on, so they can decipher the changes, as we've been tracking their changes for the last 3 or 4 years now at this point. Sarah also asks, what do you mean when you say Google tried to kill SEOs? Just because kind of what I said there. They've made certain moves that a number of SEOs would do. They've made that demote strongly. Very strong demotion signals. So it's unfortunate. Mark Walsh asks, is this signal we need for sites hard to do? The trust signal or the quality signal? It's not super easy. It's not super easy, no. But it is very specific. But it's not super hard either. It just takes a little bit of ingenuity. To the clever go the spoils, and you just got to be not lazy, and you just got to be clever, and you just got to not do it in a way that a number of the other SEO groups are trying to do it, because they don't understand what they're doing, and they're going to get you de-indexed. So you've got to understand how it works, and then you've got to try to manipulate it, optimize for it. Michael says, I've been gone too long. Great info as always. Thanks, Michael. If you have any questions, let me know. Ted asks, are you still using Quora? No, Ted, I'm not using Quora. We're not using any group, any tools. I have Ahrefs and I have SEMrush for my students. Don't tell them. But we don't use them. Like, I pay $5,000 for them per year for my students to use for free. Don't tell them. But I mean, I could cut them off at any moment because they're not really useful. Links are not the algorithm anymore. Links are not the signal anymore. They haven't been for years. Yeah, they help a little bit. And yes, sometimes you might need them. If you're equal on all parts of the spectrum and links is the only thing left and someone has more links than you, that are more relevant than you, fine, then you're going to need some links. But they are not the major signal anymore, for sure. They're not going to get you the trust or the quality you need, for sure. And so, no, about Quora, Pop, no, they're all... Pop is entirely garbage. I have no problem saying that. It is based on they're rested on their laurels and they're not doing any more science for it anymore, and they're just selling it kind of like shady snake oil salesmen, just like that kind of black hat side of things. Just comes up with something that was good 5 years ago, or 6 or 7 years ago, and they don't update it, and now it's complete crap. They just keep selling it, and they can make money selling it, as opposed to my group, where I have to innovate. We have to innovate, and I have to show and prove what I'm saying is what you should be doing. That's what you need, is you need a science group that proves what it is they're saying and doing. Not just provides interesting little tidbits here or there, or testing things that are not, were never a thing to begin with, like keyword density, for example, or page length. These are not direct ranking factors. You need to know what you're testing, and you need to be able to separate things out. So, and you need to come up with a ground unified theory of what's going on with your testing architecture. So those other science groups, they don't do that, sadly. And so Quora, sadly, is a correlation tool. It just shows you the correlations of a bunch of ye olde SEO factors. And Google has changed the game so much that those ye olde SEO factors no longer matter. So who cares what percentage of your competitors have an EMQ in the title? It doesn't tell you anything anymore, because EMQ is not a thing anymore. And this is light years. We're light years ahead of everybody else, even the way they think about SEO. It's a transformer AI. That's all I have to say. And people who know what a transformer AI is, and they go, oh, okay. And I have the science to prove when it comes down to what you need to do, what that would be. I just have one test left, but we're pretty close. It's the indexation bug that's getting in my way. Some people have claimed, and it is entirely possible, it might be my fault, because I was hammering Google really hard with a lot of test pages the week coming up to this, to time when the indexing bug happened, it just so happened that when I was hammering Google with dozens and dozens of test pages to fully test out their transformer AI that I've fully now realized they changed onto, and just to have one test left, just to tell my students, okay, I know perfectly how to do on page, do this, and this. You will go up 10, 20 spots. Everyone else will go down 10, 20 spots. And then they cock blocked me. Then Google cock blocked me for one test left. So I'm like, so I have 95% of the knowledge. And so it's really pissing me off. But we have ways. We have ways around this. We have ways around everything. It just takes longer and makes me angry. So no, I'm not using any of those tools anymore. And I do not recommend any of those tools. They will sink your SEO. They are not worth your money. It's going to sound very self-serving, but quite frankly, what is worth the money is joining my group, and coming on and seeing what we know, seeing what we do, and you will be amazed at how different SEO truly is from Google is light years ahead of the SEOs. The SEOs are like this laughing stock to them because there are so many light years ahead of the SEOs, and I'm following Google a little bit closer to where they are. I know what BERT is and what it does, for example. Ask any other SEO what BERT is or does. At the mechanical SEO, what do I do for it with my keyboard level? Not tell me what this acronym stands for. Don't tell me what BERT stands for. No one gives a shit about that. That doesn't fucking matter one bit. Tell me how I have optimized my pages for BERT. Ask an SEO that and see the answer you get. Don't take it from me. Go and ask them. I challenge you to go ask them. I challenge you to ask for their evidence. I challenge you to ask what the transformer algorithm does in Google. And they'll be like, what, Optimus Prime? They'll have no idea what you're talking about. And so Google is so far ahead of those assholes, it's not even funny. Dejan says, so what will 99% of indexation servers do now? They will do absolutely nothing. I mean, they will get your page in the queue if Google has never seen it before, but Google is blocking any page of like, if the quality score was like PageRank and it went from 1 to 10, 1 being the worst and 10 being the best, I would say just off the cuff, I may be wrong on this one because it's just a guess. Off the cuff, I would say that anything with a quality score less than 7 out of 10 or 6 out of 10 are not getting their pages indexed. And the lower you are on that, 6 or 7 as opposed to 9 or 10 quality score, it's going to take days to get your page indexed as opposed to, hours or minutes, which it used to take. That's another good, I'll mention this right now before I forget. That is another good diagnostic tool for you to know whether or not your page is of quality or not. How quickly does it get indexed in general? Does it take a minute in general? And how quickly are your pages getting trusted and indexed in this no index Armageddon? If your pages are being indexed within a couple hours in this no index Armageddon, even without the fetch button, like they found it through a sitemap or they found it through a link on your site or someone else's site, and they indexed it and ranking it that fast, wow, congratulations. You've got a brand site. You've got a really high quality site. You've got a site that's probably ranking really well, I bet you. And you've got a site that probably hundreds of thousands of people are going to. And you probably have a really good site that's probably making some sales. Kudos to you if you built that up from the ground level, like really kudos for you if you built it up from the ground level. That is the SEO of yesteryear. And if you just inherited it because you're an in-house SEO or you're kind of a bot man, if you will, if you're a contractor but you're effectively an in-house SEO of a big brand, then you're lucky. You know how easy it is to do SEO sometimes because that's the easy SEO. There's no easier, and hey, I'm not saying you're not doing a bad job, and I'm not saying it's not a job you shouldn't have. Congrats to you. All I'm saying is that it's way easier to do in-house SEO for a big brand or SEO on a big brand that has all the metrics and all the signals and thousands of links and thousands of pages and is highly trusted in quality and whatever that means. And people seem to like it and people seem to go there and you make your sales and yada, yada. It is way easier to SEO a site like that than it is starting from ground zero or trying to do an affiliate site or trying to do a penis pill site. Like, see how hard that is. Pun fully intended. So that'll tell you how quickly your page gets indexed and is ranking. I don't mean ranking for your money keyword. I just mean ranking for anything. Like, you can find it in the index, like I was talking about. Like, you do like a sentence search on it, and you can see it comes up, or you do a site colon search on the URL, and it comes up. You're like, oh, okay, great, fine, great. I don't even mean ranking for its money keyword. If it's ranking for its money keyword that fast on page one, wow, you've really done a good job, or you've been really lucky to inherit that site. Hold on to it, because once you have a site like that, there's so much more SEO stuff you can do with other sites. So hold on to it. Chase says, Josh, where have you been? You know, I've been around. I've been sadly sequestered here because of COVID virus. You can see I was just doing some martial arts with my training partner, Daryl, who does, he was doing Shaolin Kung Fu for many years, and now he's doing something called Balantawak, which is a Filipino martial art. We were just fighting. I have a video of us sparring. If anyone wants to see it, I can put that on Dropbox somewhere. I was also training with my other new student, Spencer, who's a great kid. Anytime I'm not sick, I'm trying to train. But you know, you feel a little sniffly, maybe it's COVID. I don't know. Then you gotta to be responsible, in my opinion, just my opinion. Then you have to quarantine yourself. So I have to quarantine for 2 weeks and then go back out. Oh, I feel okay, and then I feel crappy. I'm like, is it COVID? I don't know. You know, you can't get a reliable test. But that's been my life recently. Michael says Google owes me money. Yeah, they are crooks. Yep, I agree. I'm not very impressed with. Sadly, Ryan says it has changed my game. I joined 3 years ago. Totally worth it. Thank you, Ryan, for the testimonial. Yes, Ryan is one of my senior students, and is doing very, very well. As I recall last time we spoke, with all of our methods. Mark Walsh says, what do you think the reason for blocking the index button? Even if it's a complete coincidence of the timing, wouldn't Google not see the PR problem stopping indexing near an election? I suspect they're doing it because of the election. I suspect the Russians are hammering them with fake news. I suspect the Republicans are getting desperate and are just flooding the index with fake news stories about Joe Biden is running a pedophile pizza ring or is a reptilian alien or just ridiculous bullcrap that they put out. It has no proof or evidence whatsoever if you check. Like the Wikipedia entry for Antifa. Has anyone looked at that recently? Antifa is not a thing. Look at your sources, folks. Look at the link in Wikipedia where they say this proves that this is a thing, and read it, and you'll say, oh, this is not a thing at all. This is something people completely made up. Stuff like that. So Google has just decided to stop, and Facebook is being hammered by them too lately, if you haven't noticed. If you've been trying to do any Facebook ads recently, something that's usually pretty good to do, even for SEO, they've been totally hammered recently too. So it's awfully coincidental that the election's in a few weeks, and they said that this will be resolved in a few weeks. But I don't trust Google. They might realize that, you know what? We don't need a request indexing button. Fuck all the SEOs. Fuck them. We don't care. We'll just find pages normally. They have probably over 500 trillion web pages. Thane says, Facebook is full of fake news. Yes, that is true news. Yes, Facebook is full of fake news. You're absolutely right, my friend. And Google would be too if they were still allowing indexing. So I don't think it was just myself. Obviously, I'm not that egotistical. It's got to be more going on, right? So I hope they'll bring it back because people need a way to fetch a page. I changed this page. I need you to fetch it now, Google. It has important information. That is clearly a thing that people need. So Google, if you're listening, 1, fuck you. 2, bring back the fetch button as soon as you can, because there can be important information, critical information for people that could hurt people that they need to fetch to get the information back there. To not trust your AI to come moseying on down to not have caffeine mosey on down or whatever you call it internally, to eventually find it and go, oh, okay, and maybe index it and maybe process it and maybe decide to put those changes live ranking and not just into various other corpora that you're going to use to train your algorithms and whatnot and what you're doing. It really pisses me off. Google uses all of our web pages to train their AIs, whether they show it ranking or not. They have far more indexed than they show ranking. Here's what they show ranking. This little thing here. Here's what they have indexed. Probably about 500 trillion web pages at this point. Here's what they rank out of that. Like I couldn't squeeze my, see that the 0.00001% of the 500 trillion pages that they've benefited on. Yeah, they had to pay for it, but they benefited on these pages. They've trained their algorithms on these pages. They've decided to censor these pages. They decide what makes a good business or a bad business out of these pages. So fuck you, Google, and bring back the request indexing button. And I hope they will do it as soon as possible. But I suspect it's because of the election. I suspect it's because they're getting hammered. At least they have this sense of responsibility to do that and keep fake news out of their index. Although I did submit that their Antifa featured snippet was a load of crap and they need to remove that as soon as possible because it had no basis whatsoever. I don't care what you believe out there, folks. You can believe in Antifa, you can believe in aliens, you can believe in the fucking Sasquatch for all I care. I don't give a shit. All I'm saying is the Antifa page on Wikipedia had no proof whatsoever that it was a real thing. It's a made-up boogeyman for people to like Al Qaeda was for years. Until it became a real thing. It's a made-up boogeyman, and it should not be used in common parlance because it will become a thing if enough people hear about it. And go, I know, I want to be one of those idiots. I want to be a left-wing terrorist. What a great idea. Being a terrorist of any stripe, of course, is not a great idea. Michael Lee says, I need help. I have a great website. Check it out. I sell roadside assistance. Can you please help me rank my site? Sure, Michael. Put the URL here in the chat, and I will take a look at it. Anyone who wants to join and talk, if you have been having trouble indexing, let me know. It doesn't have to be the Josh Show. There could be other people in here if they want to be in here. If they have a microphone and they want to talk. Yeah, so Michael, put the site in the chat and I'll take a look at it. Sure, no problem. Michael says, Google owes me $92. That's a very specific number. I don't know why that would be. And then he says, how do I index my site into Google, bro? Again, put the URL in there. I'll take a look. Billy Zig says, I find it hard to believe that one side is honest. This is probably about my political comment. I find it hard to believe that one side is honest and the other side is dishonest. Two wings, same bird. Sure, fair enough. I admit it's politics. Every politician lies a little bit. Some lie far more than others, and some are far more dangerous than others. I think we can agree at that. I fully agree. Left-wing politicians, they do have to lie a little bit too. Justin Trudeau, for example, who's my guy I voted for, he's not perfect. He's done some backroom deals because he's a politician. He was the son of a politician who's still a politician. He's done a pretty good job. I'm not going to argue it. I don't want to talk about it any more than this. But he's a politician. Make no mistake. I know who it's the devil I know, right? I know who I'm in bed with, right? So make no mistake. But yeah, every politician lies. It's like car salesmen. Even the most honest used car salesman is still a fucking used car salesman. I sold cars for a summer when I was going to school. Trust me, I know, okay? I know, stick them to the roof. I know all the tricks, right? So there's honest people and then there's everybody else. So I got you. I agree with what you're saying, Billy. I totally understand. Michael says, I set up a YouTube discovery ad for keyword Make Money Online for my Make Money Online video, and they showed my video on a rapper and gaming channel that have nothing to do with making money online. Yeah, that's a really good point. Chase says, invite me on. Can you not use the link, Chase? The link doesn't work? Invite. Copy invite link or email. Oh no, don't open my Gmail. I don't know. Here. try that. Anyone who wants to get in here. Billy says, we have the same problem in Australia. Yeah, politicians be bad everywhere, my friend. That's the problem. What Socrates said about that, he said, the only way to fix crooked politicians is to have the philosophers who never want to lead and don't want to talk to anybody be the politician. And they don't get any money. They're housed by the state. They live like a slave and they have to make decisions. And they're not allowed to have any money or any possessions. He says that's how you make politicians not crooks. And Socrates was right. And you know why we've never tried it before? Because no one's ever wanted to do that, right? Everyone who wants power wants money, and that's power. Absolute power corrupts absolutely, as Nietzsche said, another philosopher. So that's what we've got to try. We've got to get people who don't want any power or don't want to talk to anybody. We have to somehow cajole them into being the prime minister or the president, and then you will have wisdom, and then they will rule justly. Yeah, Michael. So you had a great point there. When you guys, when you're buying Google ads, Google is a racket. Google is I mentioned used car salesman. Let's talk about Google AdWords for a second, or Google Ads for a second. Google is a racket. They will rob you blind. Never, ever, 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 ever let Google run your Google ads. Let them set it up so you can see how they do it and then say thanks, but no thanks. And then just go into the campaign they made and tweak it, change all of the settings around, change your minimum bid down. I should do a video on how to do Google ads properly. I'm not an expert on it by any stretch of the imagination, but I do have some tips. I do have some hard-earned things to tell you of how to do it. Seems like some people can join. I don't know why you can't join there, Chase. Maybe choose your email service to send invitation. Okay, fine. Here, Chase Reiner. There, go. You can join if you want to, Chase. Okay, now you have a personal invitation to join if you want. So, like I was saying, don't let Google run your Google ads. Let them set it up for you and then say thanks and look at what they've done. They will bid you on every keyword under the sun. They will, and maybe, I don't know, maybe some $1 million company who has $1 million per month to spend on AdWords may be bidding on every ad under the sun and then letting their AI tailor it to where you get the CRO and they know what actually made you money and then they tailor off the ones that don't. Maybe you'll actually make a profit that way. I don't know. But is it a good enough profit? Probably not. Is a human going to do better than AI? Most certainly. Do I want to spend millions of dollars to find out in this fruitless exercise that makes Google money in the end because their AI is getting smarter? No, fuck you, Google. I don't want to help you make more money so that you can help me make less. Why would I do that? Google is like the mafia. Google are like Nazis. I didn't say they were Nazis. I said they're like Nazis. Google is like any money hungry oil company that's just ruining the planet and doesn't give a shit, dumping their pollution into the water. They're just as bad. Make no fucking mistake. So do not. They're highway robberies. They're highway robbery men. Do not let them set up your Google ads. So definitely hire someone to do it. If you don't know anybody, I know a good guy to do it. He's a good, honest kid. He's from Calgary. I had lunch with him and his girlfriend. Great people. I'll send you his way. He's probably too busy and we'll send you to someone else. But I respect and know him. And so if you don't know how to do it, set it up yourself. And maybe I'll make a video. Maybe Chase knows how to do it. He can make a video.
They're highway robberies.
Keisha is talking. So, Keisha, if you want to ask a question, I'll unmute you for now. If you want to ask a question, go ahead and unmute yourself and go ahead and ask. Okay. Michael says, my link is not showing up in chat. Yeah, Michael, separate it out. separated it out so like it'll get rid of the just like type in just the part without the .com there, and maybe I can take a look at it. Thomas says Google calls us weekly to recommend the worst ideas and tweets. They really rub us blind. We've stopped taking the calls now. Yeah, they do. They call. They have pushy salespeople who call, who are just like those used car salesmen that I knew during those days.
Yeah, Michael, separate it out.
So Keisha, I'm gonna unmute you again. If you have a question that you want to ask, go ahead, ask it. Did you want to ask it now? I'll unmute you.
Yeah. Can
Hi.
you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Hey, what's going on, man? It's me, Michael. What's going on?
Oh, how you doing, Michael?
Hey, that's my mom's name, man. What's going on, bro?
Oh, that's the name it says here.
Yeah, man. Yeah, you see, I was in a chat. You know, long story short, you know, I say about a month or two ago, I created a YouTube discovery ad, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I saw like in my campaign, like as far as with my ads being shown, and I seen different channels. They had this fucking guy. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, something's wrong with my Zoom, man. I don't know what's going on.
Is there a delay?
I don't know. I could hear like something in the back. Like that's not me talking. I don't know what's going on, man.
Yeah. Go ahead. Keep talking. I can hear you.
Yeah, you get me now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear myself right now. What's going on?
Yeah, you might want to mute the video while you're talking, but I can hear you. It's in the background.
This is my second time on Zoom.
Is there a delay?
Oh, no, now we're looping. Yeah, go ahead and ask your question in the chat there. I can answer it, or put your website in the chat and I can take a look at it, okay?
All right, no
Go ahead,
problem, bro.
keep talking.
Okay, so okay. So yeah, so Thomas says Google calls us weekly. Yeah. They are Chase, are you on drugs? I've invited you like a million times.
I can take a look at it, okay?
What is going on?
Okay.
So Michael, sorry, I gotta unmute you there, because then I can hear background stuff. Chase is doing newsflash. Chase is on drugs. Google is not letting people index. Let me go back here and share this again. Okay, so I'm going to share this to Facebook. Okay, newsflash. Chase is on drugs. And Google does not let us index anything anymore. Sad face. There we go. Just to make sure everyone is up to date on what's going on in here. Chase, if you want to contest the fact that I think you're on drugs, then join. You're not banned in here as far as I know. You shouldn't be banned. Boom. SEO. Search. Okay, good. Okay. Let's see what other questions we got here. DJ Ram Pam says, what would your top 3 tips to help local businesses rank well be? Join a science group, hire an SEO, and join a science group. That would be. That's weird, Chase. Other people have been able to join. As you can see here, I have other participants here. They are gaining by the moment, so I don't know why you can't join. That's weird. I don't have any weird no Chase blocking joining. Yeah, so sorry, Matt. I don't know why you can't join if you can't. It's weird, but I have plenty of people in here. I don't have any. I haven't blocked you in anyway. So yeah, DJ Rampam. Sorry, those are my those are my recommendations. Join a science group, join a group, hire or hire an SEO, and who's in a science group. You cannot do SEO anymore really without doing that. It's unfortunate. Uh-oh. Did I suddenly drop? It says I have no concurrent users. Can you guys still hear me? Let me know if you can hear me here. It's unfortunate. Let me just check to see if it's still working. Uh-oh. Did I suddenly drop? No. Okay. Yeah, I don't know, dude. I gave the link. There's 4 people here. I don't know why you can't join. It doesn't like you for some reason. That doesn't make any sense. I don't know. Okay. Let's see whether. Yeah. So sorry. I know those not the tips, DJ Rampam, that you want to hear. You probably want to hear. Put a keyword in your meta keywords tag. Don't do that. Yeah, my top tips are if you're a small business, either learn SEO really well, join a science group, email me if you want information on that, joshpashinsky@gmail.com, or hire an SEO who's part of a science group. Those would be my 3 top tips. Sycroft says, I had a Google rep set up my ads with the 3K budget. Uh-oh. And she put it to 30K. And I wanted exact match keyword target, and she broad match with a goal of maximizing click goal. Yeah, that's what they do. That's what they do. They just waste. They know that that's not going to. They know that that's not going to get you any sales or anything, and they don't care. So what they do is they just bump up your ad spend. They are complete bastards. It is highway robbery. They are entire jerks. Okay, Michael. So let's see. Make money online with MCA. I don't know what this is here. Hopefully this is not. If I search this, so here's some problems. They do not know your brand name. You should not go with exact match domain. You shouldn't have exact match keyword in your domain name. So that's a big problem. They don't know who you are. I take this here is you. So when I added .com, they know you are. But that's the problem. They should know you just from this, and they don't. But oh, okay. So it's not that bad actually. If I click it, you come up number 1. Okay, so let's look at your site. What do you got here? The Motor Club of America. Oh, okay. And so this is like you're selling MCA kind of a deal. That's how you're making money online. You're selling people their Motor Club of America kind of a deal. Get started with our total security plan. Okay, I want to do that. How do I click this? So here's a problem. I can't click this. I don't know what all this information here that's spewing at me means. I don't know how I'm making money with Motor Club of America. I don't know if I want to be a member yet. Maybe I'll go to About. Okay, finally, we have here a video which is supposed to tell me how to make money fast with Motor Club of America. This should have been on this page. If this is the page that traffic is coming to, whatever page traffic is coming to should have had this play automatically to tell me how this works.
Edition. We're talking the inaugural event here
First one.
of TVC
First
Talk
one.
here on Facebook Live. We've got the
So that infomercial, hard sell infomercial should have been here and should have started playing so I could see it immediately. That's how that should have worked out there. Yeah, a couple other things. Let me check the code here. Oh, it won't let me look at the code. That doesn't look good. Your title tag is MCA, unlimited roadside assistance, travel discounts. Yeah, again, I'm confused as to what you're trying to rank for here, and I'm confused as to what the sales value proposition is. Too many clicks to get to what looks to me like probably is the hard sell that you probably want to put in front of all the eyeballs right here. So that's the first bit of advice, my friend. You could play with the speed. You know, if I could see the code, then maybe I'd be able to tell you some more about stuff here. What if I do this? Source. Nope. Not letting me do it. So yeah, there's some advice there, Michael. Osney says, I was late. It's okay. This should be recording, I think. Does this record? Maybe it does. I don't know. I remember you said don't listen to Google, but always read what they write. Yeah, you kind of have to stay informed, but it's like reading what the government writes. You have to read it with a grain of salt because, you know. Chase says, give Josh a like for doing these free site clinics. Hey, yeah, thanks, Chase. And then he says, he knows what he's talking about. Thanks, Chase. Chase is being awfully nice. Cool. I appreciate it. Michael Lee says, yeah, roadside assistance. Click on about. Yeah, see, there you go. So that's the problem there, Michael. You've got to have the call to action. It's got to be the first thing their eyeballs see. So that you shouldn't have an about page. You should have all that information on the about page. If it's important, it should be right on the index page. Michael says, I paid for this site to get made for me. Yeah, it looked pretty professional, so I'm not surprised about that. The site's content protected. Yeah, I noticed that. Hosni says, Google published 3 guides. What 3 guides are you talking about there, Hosni? What 3 guides is that you're talking about? So for people tuning in late, I'm talking about the no indexation problem that's going on. I'm talking about I was checking the chat here to see if there's any questions. Okay, Tom has another one I can take a look at. Sure, Tom, I can take a look at that. Thane says, hey, Chase, you could try joining with the phone app. Maybe it's a desktop problem. I don't know, like I'm streaming, I have the Zoom on my screen and I'm streaming through OBS, as you can see down here, but that shouldn't stop you from joining in anyway, and that doesn't make any sense. Other people have joined here, as you can see, so it doesn't make any sense. I haven't blocked you in any way, so I don't know why that's happening. So yeah, sure thing. I will look at this site for you, Tom. So Tom says, question, my products are below the fold on desktop with a large hero image. Okay. So here we have ARC Reef, Atlantic Reef Conservation. Is that your site? Really? You're in Miami Beach, Florida? Tom, that's what we're talking about here? Yep. Okay. Pew. Wow, look at that. So you look like you're doing some serious conservation stuff here. That's nice and colorful. Home shop research. Okay. So Tom, what do you want people to do here? You can go ahead and answer in the chat if you're still here, Tom. What do you, or you can unmute your mic if you want to talk. What do you want people to do when we come to your site here? What are you trying to sell?
Oh, hi, Josh. Are you there?
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, thank you very much for taking my question. I really appreciate it.
Oh, no problem.
So we're a conservation company,
Mm-hmm.
and we fund all of our reef conservation builds. We build artificial reefs from all of our product sales.
Oh, cool.
So the call to action would be a product sale, and they are below the fold on the desktop. So I just want to see if you had any tips for the site, and if you had if going below the fold maybe affects us at all. So any questions, any answers from the master, definitely appreciate it. Thank you very much, Josh.
Sure, sure. What are you trying to rank this page for?
Our main product is Coraline algae, and then we also sell the rock to like fish tank users that we use on the reef builds.
Are you location dependent, or are you national?
No, no, we're international.
Okay, so anybody you want to get an international search, go to Bright Local, local search results, and put it in here. And you can get a local search, uppercase or lowercase, doesn't matter, by the way. And I will get, when I click this, I don't even need to use a proxy. I will get an unknown search location, somewhere geolocated somewhere into the continental United States here, which is what you want, with no personalization. So Bright Local is a great tool for that. Now you're trying to rank for Coraline algae, and you are. You have a subpage ranking for it. Seems to be ranking #1 here, even above the question snippet. Is that that's you here? Yeah, Tom.
Yes,
Oh, great, fantastic.
it's actually from a lot of your help. Endless hours of watching you and maybe Chase a little bit.
Oh, you poor man. You've had to watch Chase and I. That's some kind of ring of hell in Dante's Inferno, I'm sure. Okay, well, great. I'm glad to hear it. I see a lot that I like here. The ultimate guide, I like that. And here's yeah. So your first question, is this hurting you being below the fold? Probably. I would run Hotjar on this, and I would see where everyone clicks, and I would see what percentage is making it to this part. I don't know. Maybe this infomercial going on here is helping you, but I suspect not. But mind you, I can see the products. Like I can see if I wanted one of these, I'd be like, okay, great. I could scroll down and get it right away. So it's not that bad. I would always install Hotjar or any of these kind of desktop apps that check your design and then check where people click, and then load it for a while, get a couple thousand views, and then turn it off, remove it so it doesn't slow your site down. So that's a really good idea to do there. Otherwise, I like that you're ranking #1. Obviously, that's good. Coraline algae, good stuff. So, I mean, you're ranking #1. So the question is, what can I do to rank this better? The answer is nothing. You're ranking #1. I wouldn't touch it. Even though I've seen several mistakes in here. Well, not mistakes. I've seen several things in here that Google might have a problem with. That's fine because you're ranking #1, so leave it alone. Don't. Here's the problem: is that some of these niches are very anti-SEO, and some of them are like it was 2010 again. And so that's the problem, is why you have to do scientific testing. And a little secret I'll let you guys in on is that not every niche is the same. So you can't, like, let's say if you are selling best mattress toppers, you can't go look at Coraline algae and see how that SERP is working and then extrapolate over to best mattress toppers, or vice versa. There's a good chance they're going to be totally different, and you're gonna hurt yourself really badly. You're gonna hurt your SEO really badly. So you're doing a good job on that one. Do you have another one that maybe you want to rank for that's not doing so well I could take a look at?
The main thing that we're trying to rank is now our product page, and it's our guide that comes up as number one. So I don't know if you'd recommend anything for the product to be number one, or just continue to rank for the guide that links to the product.
What's the query? What's the search query?
Just Coraline algae.
Okay, so it's this page you're talking about here.
Yeah, that's our guide, but we're really trying to rank the product page. 'Cause
I
think
see.
we lose a few people along the steps.
I see. Okay. So in this case, again, once you have some inertia on Google, once you have something ranking number one, the rule is to leave it alone. You could 301 this page to the product page, and it would probably transfer over, but it could do some reprocessing, and it might not be ranking number one anymore. So again, I would go here, and you want some other page here to be ranking. Which one is it? Some product page. Where in your where in your site navigation is it here?
If you go to the main page, yeah, if you click on that, it's on that product page. It's on that guide. I don't see it there. Yeah, so if you scroll down, it's right there. There's the products, like the first one.
Yeah.
On the right side, yeah.
So click any of these.
No, it's scroll down on the guide, or you go to shop. Yeah, that's good.
It's shop. It's this one here.
Yeah, and then it's like the first products.
Okay. I mean, I mean, you've got a really easy problem to solve, Tom. You're ranking number one. Don't touch it. Leave it alone. Just make sure it runs fast. Check your CRO. Check your conversions. Maybe instead of having recent posts here and search, move the products up so they're above the fold, and people will see them. On the right-hand side, left or right readers, their eyes end up here anyway. So get rid of search, get rid of recent posts, move the products up here, and then you've got the products there. And then they're going to read the guide. The guide is going to function as a long sales letter. And then they're going to go, okay, I want to buy this. And then they're going to click it. And your Hotjar is going to show you how well that's working. And I am 95% sure that's the way you want to go. And I'm 99.9% sure that's the way you want to go for now. And I'm 95% sure that in the future, you're going to see the Hotjar is showing you that when you get rid of this stuff and move the products up here, that a good chunk of the people you want to buy are clicking on this anyway. You would hurt yourself to try and change things around to this shopping page.
Gotcha. Thank you very much, Josh. I appreciate it. And I know you're into paleontology. So our reef actually has a lot of megalodon teeth on it. If you're ever in Miami, feel free to check us out, and we'll take you for a dive on one of our artificial reefs.
Cool. You heard it here, folks. I have him on recording. He has to do it now. I appreciate that, Tom. I wish I could travel right now. Maybe one day when this COVID thing's not going around. I haven't been to Miami for, oh God, I was in Miami when I was a 13-year-old last time I was there. So I'm sure things have changed in the hundreds of years that's been. All right, great. What other questions do we got here, guys? No. Uh-oh. Shafe Brady says, Chase Reiner, misspelled, chases people like a crack addict looking for his fix. He sells so hard, he doesn't say hello. He says, click my link, buy now. His neighbors must have bought all his SEO training and stuff. Okay, well, I'm not commenting on that. I'm being nice today. Yeah, so any more questions there, guys? So for those of you who are new or you just maybe came on here from Twitter, we're talking about the index apocalypse where Google's not indexing any pages anymore. They're barely indexing pages on sitemaps and links. They're not even honoring any fetch requests anymore. This is a huge problem. I'd love to talk to people who are being hurt by this and having a problem with this. Any more SEO questions, guys, go ahead and put there in the chat. You can join the Zoom as well and put it in the chat or talk on the mic if you want. Let me share again invite link here. And I'll put it here. Oh, no, not there. That was the wrong thing. Put it here in the chat. You could join. If you have any questions. Osni says, oh, okay, so Osni was mentioning about a bunch of Google guides up there. Google Developer Documentation Style Guide. Yeah, they put out little guides, but they're not really that much help. Google is not letting us index any more stuff. This is a huge problem. So definitely let me know if you're having trouble with this. If you want to join, so here's my hard sell. If you want to join a group that knows how to deal with a lot of these problems, there's nothing we can do about the indexation. We have some ways to get around it, but if that request index button is broken. But all the other ranking stuff that's going on, if you have any questions, ask me. If you want to join my group, I have a special on right now for COVID. Email me at joshbachynski@gmail.com. If you're interested to join the group, if you have any more questions, go ahead, please ask here. Shafe says, cheap SEO tools like cheap Alexa, how to get what's the best. I don't know what the question is there, Shafe, but Alexa is not an SEO tool. There's not a lot of SEO tools that really are worth using. Here's some advice that may help some people. You can't rely on SEO tools. You have to rely on SEO knowledge because the tools are based on outdated knowledge. And the tools are just made to sell you something. You have to get the knowledge. I'm selling knowledge. I'm selling science. I'm selling proven knowledge. I'm selling proven tactics. Enough people have come on here without me asking and said so. That's what you want to buy. You want to buy the knowledge, and then you can determine if this tool is any good or that tool is any good. I got a secret for you. None of them are. None of them are worth it. So you want the knowledge, and once you have the knowledge, then you need to learn tools like WordPress and like HTML and CSS and JavaScript, and how to make things faster, and speed tools. That might be like page speed insights and stuff like that. That's useful. Some free tools we use. We don't have to pay a few $100s a month for Quora or some tool like that. We have free on-page tools that work just as well because we know how it works. So we're like, okay, we can use these free tools, kind of thing, and make it work. But nothing. There is no prefab SEO tool that just one click does it. That hasn't existed for 10 years. It was even sketchy 10 years ago. So no, it doesn't work that way anymore, guys. Don't get suckered into tools. Don't get suckered into big promises of like, you're going to make $1 million and it's super easy. It's not super easy. SEO is really hard. And yeah, you can make $1 million, but that would be really hard to do. You want to buy the knowledge. You want to buy the knowledge and know that's why Josh is saying what he's saying. Yeah. So any more questions there, guys? Facebook. Okay, Ted says site colon is the check. Yeah, site colon is one of them, but I would rather do a search. If you want to check to see if your pages are ranking in Google, it doesn't matter what Search Console tells you if they're indexed or not. That Search Console lies. You want to do I do a sentence search. I pick a sentence at random on that page, and I would search it in quotes. That's the best way. Or you could do site colon. You could do that as well. Shafe says Facebook or a blog posting linking back with keyword strings in the text of the post, for example. I don't know what your videos rank better than test content. What's the best video maker site to use? I don't think videos do rank better than test content. There's a lot of people out there who do black hat test video creation. I think that's done to death, and I don't think it's a valid way of doing it anymore. But maybe it is. But I know nothing about it. And I think any tool that you're using, Google is going to find. Any tool that you're using, Google is going to notice, and then they're going to get rid of. So you can't really use it. You need knowledge. You don't want tools, you want knowledge. And if you're looking for a get-rich-quick scheme, get out of SEO now. The get-rich-quick schemes in SEO are long gone. Long, long gone. There's get-rich with hard work and long-time schemes, but there's no get-rich-quick schemes anymore. Sorry, just not the way it is. You need to move on to, I don't know, I think even Bitcoin is done. So I don't know what you need to move to. Porn, something like that, drugs. You need to move on to CBD, something like that. Something that somebody wants. Osni asks, any tips when doing SEO for a single page application like Angular? Yeah. You need to know what is going to get spit out to Google, and then it's the same, right? SEO is SEO is SEO. It is based on the web page. It's based on the metadata that gets sent to Google and the content that gets sent to Google. It's worth like 80% of the ranking signal these days. Links are nothing, like hardly anything. And quality is a big deal, but it's also based on the content. So you need to know what content's going to get spit out to Google, and then you can do the SEO from there. You should join the group, Hosni. It will help you out. Shafe says, Alexa is good. It shows me stuff I need to know. No, it doesn't. You don't need to know anything Alexa tells you. I don't mean to be combative. I don't mean to be combative at all, Shafe, at all. But you have no idea what you're talking about, and you're gonna crash and burn within months, probably, unless you built out some huge empire I don't know about. But wow, was that lucky? Alexa doesn't tell you anything you need to know at all. Shafe says, I want it cheap, $5 a month. I use Google Search as my tool. We use Google Search as a tool. We use search as a tool. Google Search as a tool as well. It's interesting. Yes, so you're right there. You can use Google Search as a tool. It's one of the best tools, actually. If you know how to use it, if you have the knowledge of how the ranking works, then you could turn around and just use Google as your tool. But you need the knowledge. Ted says, how long does it take your average student to get somewhat proficient at SEO? A few months, I'd say 2, 3, 4 months. It depends on you. Depends how smart you are. Depends how studious you are. Depends how well you understand abstract concepts like transformers. It depends on how well you understand HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. If you don't know that stuff yet, then that's going to take even more months of time. Avocat Tyrane asks, what do you think about CTR manipulation? Does it work? Nope. None of the current Black Hat tools that are doing CTR manipulation work. Packet stream, residential IPs, nope. No. Google already knows about this, and they're starting to de-index pages from it. I've tested it. I'd be very, very careful there. If there is a big sale where a Black Hat says it's a tool, it's easy, run away screaming, because even if it works now, Google is going to be all over it like a fly on shit within a year. So unless you only need money for a year, or unless you only need to have money for 6 months, because it'll take 6 months still to rank, even with that one tool, don't use it. You need the knowledge, and then you can construct your own tools that they will never find. Shafe maintains that Ahrefs tells him something he needs to know. Okay. Michael says, do you think going to an SEO school in New York City would help me learn SEO? Because I have a learning disability. That's a hard question to answer, Michael. Yeah, my heart goes out to you. I'm probably a little autistic. I'm probably on the spectrum. I've never been tested, but I think in weird ways that other people don't think in. And so as a kid, I had trouble learning as well, until I found out my own ways of learning, and then I just shot off like a rocket. So I fully respect and have compassion for people who need to learn differently. It's not a disability, it's different. It's not disabled, it's different. But that all being said, you have to be very clever and very on the ball to learn SEO. You need to know HTML, CSS, JavaScript, PHP. You need to know basics of JavaScript and PHP, of programming, of Angular, of different programming languages, of JavaScript libraries, of web servers, of Apache web server stuff, HTTP configuration stuff, web technology stuff as a basis. And then you learn the SEO algorithms, how they do transformation, how they do natural language processing, how they do grammar processing, how they do vectorization processing, proximity processing. And you need to be able to put that all together fast, because Google's changing it every month, sometimes drastically every month. You need to move fast with that. So I'm going to give you a bit of tough love, Michael. And if you ask my question, should you be doing that? My answer is no. My answer is probably going to be too fast changing for you to keep up. Maybe. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I just met you. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you can do it, but you got to be quick, man. You got to be super quick. Like, I don't know. When you play video games, can you hack them? Can you figure out how to configure your character to have the most PowerPoints or whatnot? Like, can you do it like that? Can you figure stuff out like that? Or do you have like a hacker's brain? If you don't, SEO is not for you. You will just waste money and you will just waste heartache. So I'm here to give you the tough love. Capital L on the love. Like, I mean this with all love. SEO is probably not for you in that case. I wouldn't waste any more money on it. I would get a job that's solid. I would get a job where it's a solid 9 to 5 paycheck and no stress, and you go home and you don't have to worry about your work anymore. That's maybe where you should be. Something like that, where maybe you can work your way up. Something along those lines. That would probably be, a paying job that would probably be better for you. Again, I don't know enough about your situation, but when you ask me, should you be an SEO, the kind of people who should be an SEO who already have learned all this web technology, they don't quite have to be a programmer, but they do have to know how, or a designer, but they do have to know HTML and CSS well enough they can go and edit it and not screw up their WordPress site. They have to know WordPress pretty much backwards and forwards, or whatever content management system they're using. And if you're not comfortable in that, you'll be like, yeah, I can do that. I know. If you have even a moment of hesitation in what I'm saying here, then it's probably not for you. SEO, Google makes the barrier to entry of SEO harder every year. I have students quit. Let me give you this. I had a lawyer quit. He was a client, and he's like, Josh, I want to join your group because I want to do my own SEO. I'm like, okay, fine. So join the group. It's cheaper than being a client. And so he joined. And again, if you guys want to join, I have a COVID special. It's usually $300 a month. It's only $244 a month. So go ahead, join, please. Email me at joshbrzezinski@gmail.com. He joined for 6 months, and then he quit. And I said, why'd you quit, man? And he says, Josh, SEO is too hard. He was a lawyer, so he's not dumb, right? And he can read, he can learn stuff quickly. So he said, either SEO is too hard for me to understand, / I did not have enough time to do it and do law at the same time. So I'm like, okay, so he's not a student anymore. So, I do reject students who are not a good fit for my program. I move pretty fast. I try and explain things, and I fully will explain. I'll answer any questions, but SEO is tough, and so this is some tough love for anybody out there. This is the most important thing you heard all day, okay? Because I'm going to save you thousands of dollars and thousands of pounds of heartache. Don't get into SEO unless you're pretty quick with the technology and you're pretty quick with, figuring out algorithms and logic and things like that and science. You fully understand science. You understand how it works. You understand how you do experiments to some level. You don't have to be a mathematician, and then actually that can be a detriment in some way. I mean, empirical, practical science, you understand. You understood the show Mythbusters intimately and how they were doing all the experiments. You're like, yeah, gotcha, no problem. Then you should be an SEO. Otherwise, probably not for you. Probably save yourself some heartache. Shafe says, I don't sell SEO anymore, working full-time as an SEO manager. Darian says, hey, Josh. Hey, Darian, how you doing, man? Glad to see you. Thomas says, any new tools? No, there's no tools, and you shouldn't be using them, as I said. Shafe says, Neil Patel is shit compared to Josh. Neil Patel probably sacrificed someone to be number one SEO man. Well, Shafe suddenly has gone up in my opinion. I'm kind of egotistical like Trump. If you like me, no. Thank you, Shafe. I appreciate it. Neil Patel is another one of those examples of he's the one who stuck around longest, and then he started winning because of that. Hosni says, can you share your email, Josh? Yeah, it's joshbashinsky@gmail.com. Go ahead and add me to whatever email list you want. I have very good spam filters. And occasionally, the spam emails are funny. Darren says, I prefer for Google to be on me like stink on shit. I agree. There you go. Darren has a certain way of saying things I appreciate. Shafe says something here that is totally true. You have to be addicted to SEO to be good at it. You're totally right there, my friend. That is completely correct. And says that I'm addicted. And you're right. I am addicted. It is a game. I agree. He says it's a game the way I see it. I totally agree with that. Michael says I know how to get paid traffic. That's important. Paid traffic is important because, one, you can fall back on it, possibly. Two, it might help for SEO in some ways. So that's a good thing. So it's good to have good, cheap, paid traffic. Michael says he makes 15-hour a day doing security. Yeah, well, I've worked security myself. I was a bouncer. I've worked security for clubs. It says I have 3 black belts, and I wanted to test myself. A dumb idea. I hate clubs. I don't like the club scene. I'm married. So what good does it do me? All these girls are flirting with me. I can't do anything about it, right? End of the night, there's 3 drunk girls I could choose from, and I can't do a damn thing. So, and then I just have guys trying to fight me all night. So it's like, this is not the job that I thought it was going to be. So that wasn't worth it, man. But I don't know, if you got advancement opportunities in security, hey, that could be good. Nothing wrong with that job. I especially like the security jobs where I can take a book that I want to read, and I can go off into a corner somewhere and I can read for 4 hours. Those are the best jobs right there. Get a government job if you can. Those are good ones. If you're not going to get into SEO. Mike Calvin says, hey Josh, is it possible to, and he puts asterisks. Thanks, Mike. I know you've been listening to me for a long time because you put asterisks in front of it so I can see it. Hey Josh, is it possible to rank top 3 for an insanely difficult topic like how to lose weight on a shoestring budget with what you'd learn in your group? If so, how long would it take? Ooh, that's a good question. So let me take a look. I can guess from here, but I haven't looked at the niche for a while. How to lose weight. And let's do another bright local one. So I'm getting the generic stuff that's just United States, no particular location. It'll do all the proper tags for you. I have this memorized as well, but it's easier to do this. So look what Google does. This is a your money or your life query, a YMYL. If you've read the Rater's Guide, you know what I'm talking about, a YMYL query, your money or your life. I'm also ranking for a query like that. Where am I here? Here's Epic Privacy Browser, which is a really good, sure. Where am I? I'm in Slough. I'm in the UK somewhere. Here's Heathrow Airport. Haha, you thought I was in Canada. No, it's just proxies. Epic Privacy Browser has proxies built in. So if I do ethics, simple definition, here is my page. And I can't remember what. Oh yeah, this is another your money or your life query that I've been able to rank pretty high for. This is number 0, feature snippet, BBC. I'm beating Webster, I'm beating dictionary, Wikipedia, blah 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 blah. You guys can look at this all you like. There's no magic here. This is a very old page. There's no magic here whatsoever. This has not got the new stuff in it. I wouldn't necessarily use it as, you can use it as a template if you want, but I wouldn't necessarily do that. There's some big mistakes here. But like I said, Google has inertia. So I'm surviving some of the big mistakes because of the inertia. It's part of the reasons why I don't want to change it anymore, because then I'll lose the inertia, right? But anyway, so this is a your money, your life query, 200,000 volume, not actually very lucrative. Look at how low the CPC is here. It's actually not a very lucrative query. Full ads on the top. And look, they have this new, lose weight for who? Because it's not a general thing. So even if you did get this Healthline featured snippet, which I can show you how to do, but even if you did get this, I don't know how many clicks out of this you're actually going to get. And it would be very, very hard. Doing this on a shoestring budget, like you asked, might be impossible. You might need to pay thousands of dollars for signals. I'm not going to tell you what signals, but you might have to pay thousands of dollars for signals to get there. I don't know. Let me take a look here. Let me fire up SERPworks, which is a researching tool. Let me just take a look at a couple things here. YouTube, NHS, the National Health Services, something, CDC. Yeah, well, I've done it, but it would not be easy. There's, it's not easy at all. 8 million keywords ranked on Healthline, and 226 million monthly traffic. 1,600. Yeah. So the answer is 90% no. You'd have a slim chance to none. Doing this on a shoestring budget, not very easy to do. I did the other one on a shoestring budget, but it is a much easier query to rank for. It's got it doesn't have 200,000 visitors a month. So no. Doing it on a shoestring budget, no. Sorry, no. Doing it with an exorbitant amount of money, sure. Yeah, that's possible. I could show you that. But good question. Darren says, hit like for JB. Thanks, Darren. I appreciate that. Hit like for Darren. I like Darren. I pressed the like button for him. Michael says, this is frustrating. Yeah, I know. I'm sorry, man. A lot of people, especially with COVID, SEO got more like I said, Google's been punting people out of SEO. They have, but if you look at Google Trends, search engine marketing optimization. If you look at the trends, United States, it looks like it's going up, right? It looks like, it's getting more popular. But that's because people, both in the world, around the world, and in United States, worldwide, you see it's going down. And then if we compare it to search engine optimization, United States. Okay, now you. Oh, never mind. I apparently don't know how to use. I don't know how to use Google Trends. Apparently, I do not pretend to be a Google Trends expert. United States, it's going up, but worldwide, it's going down. It's going up United States because people see that it's a job you can do from home, and they think, oh, I can do that. I'm sorry, man, you really can't. It's they have it on lock. And I'm sure you've noticed. Everybody notices. Every job you can do, they have it on lock, right? They have it. There's a certification for it. Now you got to take a class for it. You got to spend $500 on a course for it. Now you got to buy the uniform for it. The capitalist money grubbers have everything on lock. They've locked every way to make money so that they can keep it. That's the game. So my little crazy rabbit says so. So I know it's depressing, but sadly, that's the way it is. Okay. Any more questions here, guys? Let me see. Shafe says he will try to come with good questions and click the bell thing. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Michael says, what's up, Bright Local? Bright Local is they're a search company, and they provided this really good tool, the local search results checker, that you can search from anywhere, and it'll kind of give you the results from that area without needing a proxy. So it's kind of cool. Ted asks, what kind of sites am I building these days to make money? I'm not building any sites right now to make money. You can still use affiliate sites to make money. You can still, you can still try to rank, certain products and whatnot, affiliate products. I have ways in my group to show you how to look for the best affiliate products and what's making good money. I haven't updated that for a while. I should update it, but client SEO, going on to Upwork and doing client SEO with our knowledge is definitely one way we're doing it. That can make some money for sure. Becoming an in-house SEO, getting a job. There's lots of people who are getting jobs because of the knowledge that our group has. That's another way of doing it as well, be an in-house SEO. Shafe asks, what's the best thing for checking backlinks? I don't check backlinks. I don't care about backlinks. Backlinks don't matter. What social media tools do you use? None. Again, doesn't matter. What paid services and tools do you use? None. Again, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, man. Once you have the knowledge, you don't need any of that shit. You don't need any of it. Michael says, so there's a site called Traffic Junkie my friend told me about to check out paying cents on $1 doing banner display ad. Yeah, if you have the right paid traffic, you can make money with it. I'm not going to deny that. Signals equals buying links or buying Google ads for maps? Ted asks. There's all kinds of signals. Links are one of them. I won't lie, but there's all different kinds of signals that are far, far, far more important. Shafe says signals. Maybe he meant social media signals. Nope. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be tight-lipped, guys. But SEO has changed. I can't give away free information anymore. Any more than I do. I give away a lot of free information, but I can't give you all the secrets because then you'd be competing with my students. So got to join the group. Even join for a month. Even join for a month, and you'll see. Shave says, what video editing services software would you use for making videos? I don't. I would film it, and then I would trim it if I needed a video, but that's not how I do SEO. That's not how SEO works. Shave says, wow, I was testing you. You're amazing. Great. Thanks. How important, I'm just being honest, how important is traffic for rankings? It can be, but you have to do the special stuff. There has to be stuff going on there. That's not just willy-nilly. You can get your page de-indexed if you do it wrong, so don't do that. All right, guys. So, like I said, any more questions, go ahead, throw them in the chat there. I'm going to close this off. I've been doing this now for, how long has it been? We've been doing this 2 hours, something like that? I don't know. So go ahead and, an hour and 46 minutes. So if you have any more questions, please put them in the chat there. I'll try and answer them. If for those of you who've been tuning in late, this was about the no indexation problem. Go back and watch the video if it records. I think it does. And if you want to join, if you want to get the knowledge, if you want to join my science group, email me at joshbachynski@gmail.com. That's joshbachynski@gmail.com. BACHYNSKI@gmail.com. I also put it in the chat here. I could put it in the description as well. And just join for a month and see if I know what I'm talking about. You will be amazed. And I'm doing a special right now, a limited time offer for COVID, trying to help some people out. And I've helped you out. Thank you very much, Shafe, for rewatching and sharing. Shafe says, my boss will pay. Just need to keep up to date. Yeah, a lot of people do that. A lot of people just little people are just buy my group, get into my group, and then their boss pays or the company's paying, and they keep up to date on knowledge. It's a great way to keep up to date on knowledge because now you have a private group that has a lot of knowledge that's always there. You saw our Discord is always there. You can ask a question and people will help you out. We can't help with every single question, like how do I program in C? Like we may not know, but we do know a lot of stuff. So by all means, join. We have a lot of knowledge here for sure. I've got to get running. I have parents' dinner I got to go to. Easy Tutorial says, I have access to my competitors' analytics. What factors should I improve on my site from analytic stats? I would look at users flow. I would look at user flow on analytics. I wouldn't look at my competitors. Don't do competitive analysis. It doesn't help you. Don't do competitive analysis. It does not really help you. Look at your own analytics, make your own site better. That's the one case where Google's not lying. Look at your own analytics, make your own site better. And look at user flow. Check your conversion rates. Check your sales. Make sure that's all working really well. Don't let traffic bounce from your site. That would be a good thing to do. But the main thing is the on-page stuff. You gotta know the transformer. You have to understand the transformer AI. So you gotta join a group that understands it. And ask any other SEO out there. Do you understand how does Google's transformer AI work? They are not gonna understand it. The special is $244 USD, not Canadian, Ted. Sorry, it's $244 USD. So email me at joshbajitsky@gmail.com and I could send you some questions, see if you're a good fit for the group. And all right, guys, so I'm going to end the stream. Thanks for watching. I hope that has helped you guys out. And I hope you can get your pages indexed and watch Google. I'll try to make more of these videos and help people out because SEO has changed so much. You can't trust anything anyone else is saying out there. Again, ask them about the transformer AI. If they don't even know what that is, stop listening to them. They have no idea what they're talking about. They're resting on their laurels. They're coasting on SEO of yesterday. That's going to die pretty soon, if not already. So good luck to you guys. We'll see you in the SERPs, and we'll see you next time.